So I'm looking at page 8, exercise 2 in review. Tell what cases these forms are and give their meaning. That is the actual instruction from exercise 2 on page 8 of your Purple Henley Latin book. And so to begin with, we already know what a form is. A form is simply the stem of a Latin noun and its ending. And they're asking us to find the case, which is nominative, genitive, dative, accusative, or ablative. And nominative is the subject, genitive is the possessive, dative is the indirect object, and accusative is direct object, and ablative is the object of the preposition. So they're asking us to find the case. So I've opened up my book to page 5, the blue Henley Latin book. And so we're going to look at these words and at the declension and see what case teram is. So if you look at accusative in the singular, we will see that teram is accusative. So the case for teram is accusative. And then we can look at the meaning. It's actually accusative singular. That's important. And the meaning of the accusative singular is the land. So teram is accusative singular, and it means the land. And accusative, it also, so we know that since it's accusative, it's also the direct object. And all of those things are on page 5, so we know that direct object is its use, accusative is its case, and singular is its number. In class, I'll ask students, tell me what the gender, case, and number is of a noun. And so that would be their answer. Well, for teram, the gender is feminine because we know that all first declension nouns are feminine, unless it's talking about naming an individual male person. So we know that the number is singular because teram tells us that it's accusative singular, and we know that its use is direct object. So gender, case, and number. The gender case, the gender would be feminine, the case would be accusative, and the number would be singular. I like to add the direct object because when I'm learning about a word, I want to know everything about it. So, and that helps a lot. So let's go on to silvus. So silvus actually means forest. And you can see that on page 7 of your Purple Henley Latin book. Okay, so I'm going to ask myself, what is the case of silvus? So I look at the declension, the first declension on page 5 of my blue Henley Latin book, and I will see that it's accusative plural. So it's accusative plural. And so if I'm going to ask the students, so tell me what is the gender, case, and number of silvus? It would be, well, we know that because the forest is not an individual male person, it would be feminine because it's the first declension. It would be plural, so that's the number. We have that already. So and the case is accusative. And it means the forest or the forests. The next word that we have is portarum. So if we look at our books on page 5, we will see that this ending tells us that the case is genitive plural. Genitive plural. We know that this is a feminine word because it does not name an individual male person. So if I were to ask the students what is the gender, case, and number of this particular noun, they would tell me that the gender is feminine, the case is genitive, and the number is plural. And so the meaning of this word would be of the gates. The next word is gloriam. And so we know, because we've already told what case the form teram is, that this is accusative. So we know that it's accusative. We know that it's singular. And we know that it is a direct object if we were to ask ourselves that question. We know that accusative is direct object. Genitive is possessive. Going back looking at these, if we're going to add the use of each word along with what we've already talked about. So accusative, singular, direct object. So if I were to ask a student, give me the case, gender, and number of this word, they would tell me, well, the gender is feminine because it's not talking about an individual male person. The case is accusative, and the number is singular. And what does it mean? It means fame, glory. The fame, the glory. And that is a simple overview of and review of how to look at a form, decide what case it is, and the meaning. And it's also a little information on gender, case, and number, and how we do it in our classroom, in our challenge classroom. All right, hope that helps.